Well, I hope you enjoyed that opening. We are so close to the holidays, so close to Christmas. And I thought I would open it that way. It's kind of fun to feel like you're back in a little village and going to those quaint little shops and picking up fresh bread at the bakery and going into this sewing shop called Cow Country Vintage Sewing Machine and Restoration. And you have a chance to see all the fun stuff that's happening in that little workshop as well as you're visiting that village. So that's the good stuff. That's the good stuff. And the other good stuff is having an opportunity to check out this really, really cool Singer 66 RedEye that belongs to none other than Mr. Joe Silva from Manteca, California. And you saw that little premiere I did where I was showing you a couple of the little tricks of the trade behind the scenes as I was taking a lot of the rust off of this machine. Well, good luck finding rust on it now. And as you can see, it's really been cleaned up a lot. And I know Joe's going to be using it for project work, so he's not overly concerned about the appearance of the machine. But you know what? Why not? Why don't we get a little bit closer to the machine and check out some of the fine work that I did in the workshop to get it back to a point where it's really it's a showpiece, along with being a piece that is ready to get the job done and do the work that needs to be done as well down at the needle. So I don't think anyone in that premiere I did where I was showing some of the tricks of the trade behind the scenes, no one jumped in to my impromptu contest of guessing what year this machine is, giving me all the stuff that I normally look for, the birth date, the size of the manufacturing production class, all the goodies that I look for when I'm throwing an impromptu contest out there. So I'm going to give you one more chance to redeem yourselves. All right? So during this premiere, I'd like you to look up the serial number on Joe's Singer 66 RedEye. I've already given you part of the answer right there. You know it's a Singer 66, but you got to look up the other stuff. And the serial number is G as in George 3479952. G as in George 3479952. If you don't look it up during the premiere and post it in the chat, then you can always post it on Facebook in conjunction with this premiere announcement. Okay? And obviously, this particular machine that's going to be heading out to California to give Joe the opportunity to go off the grid with this hand crank is a machine that I know that he's going to have a lot of fun with. So I'm going to zoom in on the needle, and without further ado, I'm going to see if we can't do a little bit of stitching with this model 66. I'm going to try to lock it in place there if I can do it. Yes, I think we got it. I think we got it. Oh my goodness. And I'm going to also adjust my lights a little bit more, give us a little bit more light down on the needle. I've got all LED lights now, and I just don't know if I'm a fan of LED lights yet. I don't know if I'm a fan of LED lights, to be honest with you folks. I'm still getting used to them. There's pros and cons about LED lights. All right, so I'm going to put on one more Christmas tune. This is going to loop forever, so you're going to have to be patient with me, considering that it's going to be the same song through the entire sew-off. So I'm going to do my best. Let's see what we got here. Jingle Bells, Ode to Joy, White Christmas, and Silent Night. I'm going to do Ode to Joy, I think. And we'll see if I can get this to play while I'm doing the sew off. And again, it's going to loop a little bit, so just be patient. All right. Make one quick adjustment here. I got my clod hoppers on, so I just kind of bumped the camera a little bit, as you saw. I normally put my slippers on, and I didn't do that today. All right, the first sew off I'm going to do is actually, I kept a little piece of the leather sample that had just been at the workshop when I did the sew off with the previous machine. That ended up just being shipped out. So I'm going to give this a try. This is pretty thick stuff. And we'll see how this Singer 66 does with this. All right, if you see my big old arm in the way, it's because I'm cranking away. Here we go. Goodness gracious, that's quiet, isn't it? I'm cranking it, folks. It's that quiet. That's just nuts. That is absolutely nuts. It runs that quietly. And not just runs quietly, but look at the stitch quality on that as well. Absolutely spectacular. The spacing, the formation is exactly as it should be. And if we turn it over, no difference on that lock stitch. The spacing, the formation, and the integrity of that stitch all the way across from start to finish is just perfect. It's absolutely perfect! All right, folks, let me put this to the side, and we'll go ahead and stitch off on some more leather with this really cool 66 RedEye, and I'm not going to give you the date. Y'all got to look that up yourself. So now we're gonna step up to 2 layers now of genuine cowhide. 2 layers, and I'm going to try to line them up on the side at least so you can see the thickness that we're going to be contending with. There you go. It's probably about 12 ounces of leather, and again, this is genuine cowhide. This is nothing easy peasy when it comes to this machine getting the job done, but we're going to do it anyway because I've got a lot of confidence, just as I do in all of my machines, when it comes to what they can do in getting the job done. All right, so I don't drive you absolutely nuts with this particular song, let me put a different one on real quick. All right, so that was Ode to Joy. And I think I'll put on Jingle Bells now as we do another stitch off. If I can get it to line up, that is. I'm also moving my heater a little bit closer. It's going to be down in the single digits today. It's going to be freezy peasy here in Wisconsin. All right, so here we got about 12 ounces of genuine cowhide. Let's see how this Singer 66 RedEye does with this task. And again, I'm cranking it off by hand, folks. I'm cranking it off by hand. Here we go. And I might just increase that presser foot pressure just a hair. Here we go. Tell you, I'm getting some speed here, folks. I'm getting some speed. Hang on to your britches. All right, let's take a look at this one too. And this again is genuine cowhide. Oh, those are beautiful stitches. Can you see those, folks? Absolutely beautiful. Again, we went through 2 layers. I kind of turn it to the side here. You can see it. And then if I flip it over, we've got our lock stitch, but I'll tell you one thing, that lock stitch even when I pull it back, you can kind of see it, but it just drives it into that leather. It's not messing around at all. And the ease of turning this hand crank is just absolutely crazy how easy it is. And again, look at from the side of what we just went through. Kind of go like that. That probably makes it a little bit easier. But you know what? That's the secret with my process, is it takes what other machines would absolutely struggle with, and it makes it look like it's just taking a walk, a casual walk through a park somewhere. You know, we're not sewing leather, we're taking a walk through the park, for goodness sakes. It's absolutely easy. And the other machines are going, ah, no way. All right, let me get this set up and then I'll pop another song on. And this is going to be the stuff that I really enjoy sewing. This is going to be my genuine elk hide. I'll kind of get that underneath the presser foot and I'll put on a different tune, because otherwise you're going to have jingle bells stuck in your head so hard you're not going to be able to get it out. All right, so that was Jingle Bells. And now we'll put on White Christmas. I'll do Silent Night last, because Silent Night usually is the last song that's done, you know? All right, here we go. Genuine elk hide. And I could widen this shot a little bit so you can watch me crank. That would be kind of fun. Just give you a little bit different perspective. And then I'll zoom back in. Yeah, there we go. All right, here we go, folks. Oh my gosh, it's so easy. It's so easy to turn. I'm having to look down and go, is that really in the leather? Just crazy. All right, let's do a little turnaround here. All right, rotate it again. And we'll head back down to the finish line. Here we go! There we go. All right, let's finish this off, folks. Let's finish this off. Here we go. And no, I didn't line them up exactly. I'm really close. Oh, there we go. And may all your Christmases be white. All right, that was me singing, folks. That wasn't dubbed in. Oh, goodness. I wish these clippers are just being pickles. Come on, cut it. Cut it, cut it, cut it. There we go. Okay, so this is, again, our genuine elk hide. And you can see nothing because I'm really, really zoomed out. Oh, goodness. Here we go. Aren't those beautiful? Matter of fact, since I'm already standing up by the camera, again, just look at the grain of that elk hide. I'm saying it again, once you process a hide, oh my gosh, that needle threshold for piercing goes up just off the charts, okay? So I'm going to flip this around real quick and then I'll zoom back in again and we can take a look at the lock stitch as well. And this will be a tough one to see just because of that nap on the leather, but we're going to zoom in on it. We'll take a look as close as we can at it anyway. It's not too bad, actually. So there's our lock stitch. Again, amid the thickness of the nap and everything, the spacing, the formation, you can really see it when we go vertical, is exactly as you want it to be. Perfect stitches all the way around. I love it. Oh, I said it in the other video. Victory is sweet, isn't it? But victory comes at a cost. The amount of time that I invest in each and every machine on this workbench, you got to make that investment if you want an outcome like this. If you want it to be, if you want it to appear that easy, and it really is. I mean, turning the hand crank is just cuckoo crazy as far as the ease of it. So we might as well try some of this nylon webbing, right? We might as well. This 66 is strutting its stuff. We might as well just buzz down and do some nylon webbing while we're at the machine, right? Why not? All right, let me check my shot here. And yes, I'm going to change the music. I don't want you to have dreams or nightmares with this particular tune. All right, so I'm gonna cue up my final song that I have among my Christmas type songs, and I will set up Silent Night. We'll set up Silent Night so that it's all ready to go. But I actually have one more sew off after this nylon webbing. I've got what is it? Full grain leather, protected full grain leather. So I'll zoom in on this shot a little bit again so you can see me crank her off. There we go. And I'll do this without music because I really want you to listen to this machine. The ease of this machine, and it's, again, optimizing from bobbing the balance wheel. You can just immediately tell by the sound of a machine how well it's been prepared. I'm going to be absolutely quiet, which you know is like nearly impossible for me. And I'm going to crank this off, this nylon webbing, and I want you to listen to the machine. Okay? All right, let me spin my screen around. Let me fin my screen around. And we'll see what you think. Okay? Here we go. I didn't have my balance wheel or my take-up arm at the highest point. There we go. Now we're ready. Now we're ready. And I'm going to come back like in a V. I've done this before. All right, here we go. Well, what do you think? Does this thing run? I mean, it runs just like smoother than silk. Joe is going to have a blast. He's going to have an absolute blast with this 66. He really is. Now I'm going to have to really zoom in on these stitches because we've got kind of an off-white thread on a yellow nylon webbing. So that is not an easy thing to see at all. I just got done clipping my thread too tight. Oh well. Okay. I'm hoping you can see this because these are absolutely gorgeous stitches on this nylon webbing, both on the lock side and on the top stitch side as well. I'll try to, I don't know, bringing my light in actually may not benefit us right now. I'll give us an indirect light on it so we'll see how those stitches look when we zoom in on them. All right. So this is again 2 layers of nylon webbing. I've talked about this stuff several times. Trying to see if we can see it better that way. Let me bring the light in. I thought the indirect light might actually benefit us here, but it is not benefiting us. There we go. That's probably a little bit better. It's still tough, I get it. It's still tough. I'm going to bring my other light in too, as well. Maybe also change, yeah, if I change the angle a little bit, that helps also. All right, I'll move real slow, folks. You can see the stitching there. It's masked a little bit because of the color contrast, but you can see them. Those are gorgeous stitches. The spacing, the formation, everything about those stitches on this nylon webbing are absolutely break-worthy. I've got to choose my threads more carefully, because that is just that is a pain in the neck when you're trying to see light thread on a light background. All right, let me flip it over, and we'll see if we can see these lock stitches. I hope so. You can see if I zoom out real quick here, how I have my lights right now in an effort to try to capture it. I got my one light right here shining in. I've got my other light. Where's my other light? Where's my other light? Oh, it's way out there. Duh. My other light's shining way over there. We'll go in again here, see if we can see these. Yeah, you can see them. They almost look orangey, don't they? So the spacing, the formation on these is exactly as we want it to look. Especially when you're talking about a nylon webbing material like this. This stuff is really, really tough stuff to work with when it comes to getting a good stitch outcome. Because this stuff, again, remember, it has a tensile strength rating of 2,000 pounds per level. So these two together, we're looking at 4,000 pounds tensile strength. And I'm gonna see what I can do as far as these LED lights. I don't know if this is going to work or not. It may not. I don't know if that's better or worse. Testing the steadiness of my hand here. Now I'm going to flip it over. Aren't those beautiful? Yeah, I'm glad I did this. You're able to see them better when I get this close because of the lightness of that material. I'll flip it one more time. That doesn't happen by chance, folks. To get an outcome like that, that does not happen by chance. Trust me, it doesn't. So now I've already done, what have I done so far? Yeah, I've done the 3 layers of genuine cowhide. Have I done that yet? No, I have not. Okay, all right. I'm getting caught up, folks. I'm getting caught up. So I'm going to do 3 layers of protected full grain leather now. I thought I had done cowhide. I just did 2 layers of cowhide. Now we're going to do 3 layers of protected full grain leather to wrap up this premiere. And because you've seen me crank it off a couple of times, which isn't horribly exciting, I'm going to go ahead and line it up, and you can watch the results of this as it's stitching off through 3 layers of protected full grain leather down at the needle. So I'm going to adjust my lights again. Just desperately trying to get some lighting on those stitches on that nylon webbing. What a challenge, huh? Holy mackerel. So I'm going to clean up this bed a little bit because the leather is always very unforgiving when it comes to leaving remnants behind. So, seeing if you can see what I'm seeing here. This is my protected full grain leather. I mean, it's a thick of thick. Even a single layer is about 3 ounces. So I'm going to go ahead and fold it. Gosh, I hate wasting leather. Let me see if I can do this more conservatively, and I may have to trim it down. Yeah, I can. I definitely can. So we're going to do it like that. I have to grab my scissors real quick, and I'll cut off the extra section of that so I don't waste the leather. Leather is not cheap stuff, but I love sewing with it. I love sewing with leather. Well, you know that. Say something else obvious, Scott. So, I'm going to get this lined up. I'll get it in position underneath the presser foot, and then I'll get Silent Night on, which is our final song that I'll play during this premiere. Now you can look at it from the side. That's our 3 layers of protected full grain leather. We're talking about 14 ounces of leather, folks. That is not an easy task at all. So, but we'll see how this 66 does with it. I think the 66 will get the job done exactly as we would expect a machine that's been on this workbench to get the job done. All right, blah, 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 blah. Silent Night, folks. All right, 3 layers of protected full grain leather, folks. Ooh. A little bit of insanity here, but we'll see how we do. First of all, I got to get my take-up arm to the highest position. There we go. All right, I got to get some rhythm going here. That was kind of hard to launch into that. I mean, I had the needle at the highest position, but I really hadn't done a super job with getting my hand position on that hand crank right. And boy, I almost paid the price for that. So there's our stitching right there. You know what? It speaks for itself. The spacing, the formation is exactly as we would expect it to be. All the way across, start to finish. Isn't that gorgeous? Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. I almost said, isn't that gorgeous? I think I need to go down and spend some time with my friends in the South, because they can teach me how to speak correctly. Now if I turn it over, what are we going to see? We're going to see exactly the same quality stitch. There's our lock stitch right there. All the way across. The spacing, the formation, exactly as it should be. Exactly as it should be. Well, folks, it just doesn't get any better than that. I'm going to clip off these threads and we'll get these lined up on the bed. And I'm going to wrap this premiere up. I don't know what else to show you. I mean, 3 layers of protected full grain leather, 2 layers of genuine cowhide. The proof's in the pudding, and we've given you a full bowl of pudding after I get all this stuff clean off the bed. All right. So there again is we just did our 3 layers of protected full grain leather. I'm kind of showing you both sides at the same time. Then I'm going to line it up in a way that we can see it best with the camera. Maybe I can do it on an angle a little bit or something. And then we've got, I should come out on the shot a little bit as I'm lining these up so you can kind of see what I'm doing. There we go. And we can zoom back in, obviously, once we're all lined up. And I got to get my light out of the way, too. Again, I don't know about these LED lights. I'm sure they're an improvement over some other types of lights, but I just don't know. I don't know. You can post in the chat what you think of LED lights if you've had any experience with them. Alright, so far on the bed we've got our 3 layers of protected full grain leather. Now I'm going to be putting my genuine cowhide, 2 layers of that. I'll put that right next to it. I'll kind of get it underneath the presser foot, just slightly. There we go, put that presser foot down. And then we're going to do our genuine elk hide. And we've also got this, again, this sample piece that I'd done on William Diaz's machine just recently in that premiere that I showed you, or that you participated in if you were actually attending it. And see, that's the beauty again of the 66, is that harp space is just huge. Sometimes we got to cheat and really kind of squeeze stuff in there. Not in this case. We got just plenty of room. Sleep in heavenly peace. All right, I'll shut that off again so you don't have that song stuck in your head for all eternity. So I'll mention something else as well as we're getting ready to zoom in and look at these stitch offs. Couple quick little tips on the Singer 66. And I'll come off the tripod as well because I want to get a little bit closer to the machine. Again, this was not a full restoration. This was, let's get the machine cleaned up. Let's get it running at an optimal level so that Joe is able to use it for heavy duty leather sewing and other sewing that he chooses to do out there in Manteca, California. But when it comes to the Singer 66, you always want to make sure that the flat side of that needle is to the right. Make sure the flat side is to the right, otherwise you're going to be in a world of hurt. And make sure that when you're threading this 66, that you're threading it from left to right. And when I come off the tripod, I'll kind of walk you through the additional threading a little bit more because there's a couple little things you need to know about that as well. Okay? So let's do this. And I wish I had some music, some additional music I could put on, Christmassy music, as I come off the tripod, but we'll just do it. Maybe I'll hum or something for you. All right, so let's start over here on the nylon webbing, which this poor camera just goes nuts when it's trying to look at those stitches with that lightness of that thread and the background as well. All right, and I'll come off the camera as well later and you can see that a little bit closer up. So now we've got our genuine elk hide, and like I said, sometimes you just don't need to say anything. Those stitches just speak for themselves, loud and clear. So that was our single layer of genuine elk hide. Now we've got our 2 layers of genuine cowhide. And again, as we go up those stitches, just absolutely breathtaking how beautiful they are. And when we come off the tripod, we'll get even closer to those. And then we've got our 3 layers of insane protected full grain leather. And you can look at those stitches as well. Absolutely what? If you said brag-worthy, you are absolutely spot on. Those are brag-worthy stitches. They really are. Just amazing, amazing stitches in every respect. And again, you're looking at 3 layers of protected full grain leather, folks. And if you had been in the workshop and turning that hand crank on your own, boy, I'm going crazy with my zoom there. You would be amazed at how easy, how absolutely ridiculously easy it is to turn that hand crank. You know what? I got to put something on. I got to put something on when we come off the tripod. I'm going to put on one of my favorite ones. And this isn't specific Christmas music, but I think it's classic music for sure. There it is. This is one of my favorites on this music box. It's in the good old summertime. And you know what, when you're in the thick of winter like I am right now in Wisconsin, and many of you are depending on where you're located, we sure dream of summer, don't we, in the winter? I know I do. Alright, so here we go. In the good old summertime, as I come off the tripod and get a little bit closer to Joe's amazing 66 RedEye. I love this machine. I just love it. And I hope I don't trip over anything as I'm heading towards this other workbench. So again, any of you that saw that other premiere where I showed you, and I got to zoom all the way out there, some of the challenges as far as rust and that on this machine, like I said, you're not going to see that anymore. There's that badge of honor right there. Remember that faceplate? That is a new type of pretty right there. That was all covered in rust. It was just a rust heap. And now it's just a spectacular showpiece. Let's take a closer look at these stitch offs now. That's our 3 layers of protected full grain leather, folks. I actually drug it across there. I actually was so close with the camera. Alright, our 2 layers of genuine cowhide. Trying to get my hand position on this right. It's a little bit awkward. Sorry about that. There, that's what I was looking to do. That's our 2 layers of genuine cowhide right there, folks. Look at that stuff from the side. That's just kooky. I do kooky stuff, I really do. Especially when it comes to controlling the camera. I wonder if I can do that better with that protected now. Yeah, I better keep moving forward. Alright, so here's our genuine elk hide. I'm going to kind of sit down on the workbench stool so I can get a little bit closer and keep my balance. And this piece we're going over right now is that saddle grade leather that I used on William Diaz's. You can see there's nothing thin about that stuff. So we look at the side. And finally, the nylon webbing. Boy, I sure hope I can get close to this stuff. I'm going to zoom out so I can zoom in closer on my finger. All right, come on, you can do it. You can do it, camera. That's about as close as I can get, I think, without blurring it. Those are beautiful stitches through that nylon webbing. Just amazing. Okay, let me come out on the shot here. I think I'm all the way out. So, the other thing I should mention, and I didn't, right next to this badge of honor is our stitch length control on this model 66. If you turn it all the way clockwise as I have it right now, you can see I pretty much have it screwed all the way in. That's going to give you the longest stitch that you can get with this model 66. It's going to be real close to probably about 7 stitches per inch. I wouldn't say it's quite down to 6. And then if you turn it all the way counterclockwise to the left, it's going to give you a much smaller stitch, real close to that 30 stitches per inch. So now as we come across the top real quick, and I kind of talk to you about the threading, you start right here on the spool of thread, you come across the top. We've got this thread guide right here. We come down through the tension discs. And again, this is an unnumbered tension control, which right away tells you that this machine is going to be a lot older than a lot of the 66s that I've shown on this channel. Now when you come off of the tension control here, make sure you come through this spring release. See how it's over the top of that? So we came through the discs and we come over the top of that spring. Then we're going to come underneath this little guide right here. Don't go through the hole. I've had some people contact me and they're having thread breaking, and it's because when they came off of that spring right here, this spring release, they've gone through that little hole. You know, you almost wonder why in heavens the Betsy's name did they give you a hole like that if you're not going to use it? Well, that hole can be used when you're winding a bobbin. Most people don't use it, but when you're winding a bobbin, you can kind of come off the top here. You can come through this thread guide, and then you can come through that little hole and then come back across the machine to here, to here, to here. And then obviously engage your bobbin winder and disengage your clutch. Okay? Going blind. Ah! So after we come over here and we go underneath this little arm, we don't go through the hole. Do not go through the hole. All right? Then you're going to come up to your take-up arm right there. Come down across your beautiful face plate through this thread guide right over here. And then you're going to come down across the front of the face plate. There's a thread guide right there. Where am I? Thread guide right there. And then you're going to come from there down to your needle. And again, you're going to thread your needle from left to right. Once I show you the needle, that is. Well, you can really see that protected full grain at this angle now. I love that. All right, so hopefully that's helpful. This is, again, I keep referring to it as a 66, and I'm going to get a nasty note from my friend Bill from Florida, who works as a moderator with me, and he's going to say, Scott, that's a 66. What? It's not a 60. So, so many nuances when it comes to the 66, you know what I mean? So this has really been a great machine to get ready for Joe. He's been real patient as I prepped it for him because I wanted to get it just absolutely perfect. And as you've seen these different sew-offs, this protected full grain leather, this genuine cowhide, this elk hide, this saddle grade leather, And certainly, last but not least, this nylon webbing stuff. This 66 is so ready to get the job done. So again, happy holidays. Merry Christmas to all of you out there. And happy Hanukkah belatedly to my friends as well of the Jewish faith. And if I've forgotten anybody, send me notes so I can be sensitive to recognizing you as well. But I certainly do hope you have a blessed holiday. And thanks so much for being a part of this YouTube channel and for being a part of the Facebook following as well. And Joe, your machine is going to be shipped real soon. All right, take care, folks, and God bless.